Beautiful night here in Oklahoma City and inside Chesapeake Energy Arena. It's the national championship, BYU and Penn State. Well, the last time a BYU team brought home a championship trophy, Sean Olmstead helped to carry it. That was with the men's volleyball team back in 2004, and now as a coach, trying to bring another one home. Here is the starting lineup for his BYU Cougars.
Jennifer Hansen, Linden, Utah, right side hitter.
I'm Whitney Young from Roberts, Idaho, and I'm a middle blocker.
Alexa Gray, Calgary, Alberta, outside hitter.
I'm Tamber Nobles from Longmont, Colorado, and I'm an outside hitter.
Amy Boswell, Aloha, Oregon, middle blocker.
I'm Alohi Robbins Hardy from Honolulu, Hawaii, and I'm a setter.
Sierra Parker, Santa Clara, Utah, libero.
Well, Russ Rose has the most championships and the most wins in women's volleyball history. He's a Hall of Famer. And here's his lineup for the Nittany Lions.
Hi, I'm Ayana Whitney. I'm from Norwood, New Jersey, and I'm a right side hitter.
Hi, I'm Nia Grant. I'm from Warren, Ohio, and I'm a middle hitter.
Allie Franti, Spring Grove, Illinois, outside hitter.
Hi, I'm Megan Courtney from Dayton, Ohio, and I'm an outside hitter.
Haley Washington, Colorado Springs, Colorado, middle blocker.
Hi, I'm Micah Hancock from Edmond, Oklahoma, and I'm a setter.
Dominique Gonzalez, San Antonio, Texas, libero.
Well, if you like a Cinderella story, we've got one tonight. For more on that, here's Holly Rowe.
Well, the BYU Cougars are on a historic run through this tournament, doing what no team has done before, an unseeded team playing in the national championship. They have done it by beating the 11 seed, the number 6 seed, then the 14 seed, and finally Texas, the number 2 seed. Their fans have adopted this motto, and so has the team. Why not us? The Cougars believe that they're just as good as any other team out there, and so far, this run they've been on through the tournament, they're showing it. They hope that they can keep this easy, free spirit tonight with the mantra, why not us, for a national championship.
Just one semifinal appearance prior to this year, and now not only a semi but into the national championship match for the Cougars in blue, Penn State in their home whites. Russ Rose, the first 3 times he brought the Nittany Lions to the final, they lost. But the last 6 trips into the championship match have all resulted with a trophy for the trophy case back in Happy Valley. The dynasty or the team of destiny tonight in Oklahoma City, and the top server in the country, one of the best in history in the collegiate ranks, Micah Hancock to lead things off. Alexa Gray with the touch, the All-America for BYU. Allie Franti. And now Jen Hampson will have a major size advantage. She gets the kill. She stands at the net cart at 6 feet 7 inches.
And she's part of that 2-pronged offense for BYU. She plays on the right side and then behind the setter and Alexa Gray on the left side. And that pair really hurt Texas a lot in the semifinals.
First swing for Penn State is blocked. The second one is dug up. Tamber Nobles gets another point for BYU.
Wow, what a nice up in the backcourt by Welling Withers. I like how she was playing forward on that. Most of the time that ball's going to hit the ground.
Tia Welling, the senior from Beaverton, Oregon, and now the swing for Ayana Whitney. That is long, and it's a 3-0 start for BYU. In our first set, we will play best 3 of 5. There's a point on every serve. The first 4 sets would go to 25. The last set, if we get there, goes to 15. All of those you have to win by 2. And there's a point for the Nittany Lions. It's their All-America middle, Nia Grant. 6'2" senior out of Warren, Ohio. The instructions from the coaching staff today at practice: find a seam anywhere that you can through that block that they faced tonight for BYU, which was the best in the nation this year. Hancock to Whitney, pounds it down. Point Penn State.
Coach Rose said this week that Ayana Whitney contacts the ball at a higher point than anybody of these final 4 on these final 4 teams in this championship, and she showed it there, going right over the BYU block.
Robbins Hardy, the freshman, with the back set to Jennifer Hampson. We've talked so much about Penn State senior setter. What a moment for the freshman, making just her 3rd career start. Her first one was in that region final against Nebraska. And what a gutsy move by Sean Olmstead to make that move. She started the other night in the semis, and now here she is in the final on a brief hiatus from the women's basketball team. She will return to play with them next week.
Not just next week, but in probably less than 48 hours. She's playing on Monday. No rest for the weary. Boy, would she like to take a trophy back to that basketball game.
Two-sport star in high school out of Hawaii. Wanted to go somewhere where she could play both, and BYU gave her that opportunity. In fact, Robbins Hardy is playing on a basketball scholarship and moonlighting with the volleyball team. 5'3" Cougars. Hampson, a rarity that the big girl will stay in the back and serve it up. And she delivers the ace.
And she's one of the tougher servers you'll find in the world of women's college volleyball because she's 6'7". Watch how she can almost hit that down at a very good passer. Dominique Gonzalez for Penn State, who gets aced clean off the serve going at Gonzalez. BYU must have seen something on film that they want to take advantage of. Now we got to pay attention because remember 2 nights ago BYU had tremendous trouble. Hampson is in the backcourt and Alexa Gray is waiting to check back in, but she's not on the floor right now. So huge advantage here for to possibly take advantage of here for Penn State. And there's a pass that's too close.
The solo block there for Washington.
What BYU would like to do is not give up many points in this rotation without Alexa Gray in the front court. They've given up already 1 in 1 attempt, and there's 2.
The ace for Penn State as Gray watches from the sideline.
This is the one that really went south for BYU in that 3rd set against Texas. There's a better pass.
Tamber Nobles didn't get enough on it. Point Penn State. And the defending champs go up 1.
0 for 3 so far in the weakest rotation that BYU has.
The senior Lacey Fuller is doing a nice job behind the service line. Nobles rockets one and gets a touch. Point BYU as Gray gets set to check back in now.
And we saw in practice yesterday and this morning, BYU's Penn State's got a whole plan. They've got a scheme for everything, as we'll see Alexa Gray on offense now after Micah Hancock showing one of her all-around abilities, attacking at the net.
The road for Russ Rose and the Nittany Lions, or they cruise through the first 3 rounds, then the upset of Wisconsin in the region final, the upset of Stanford in the semis. If you can really call them an underdog, it was probably by seed only. They were very evenly matched with those 2 teams. And certainly the underdog no more against BYU tonight. Washington works the block. You're talking about Washington, the #1 recruit coming out of high school last year. She is alongside Allie Franti, #5 in white, who was the #2 recruit coming out of high school and was crowned yesterday as the National Freshman of the Year.
And some people feel Washington could have been named that, but she was injured early, didn't log enough minutes. That's up by Penn State there. Didn't log enough minutes to be eligible for the award.
Gray trying to finesse that one a little bit. A chance for Penn State. They can't make the most of it. Robbins Hardy. Boswell tried the tip. Back to Gray. Double block was up. Hancock slowed it down. She'll hammer and missed it. Point BYU.
So far, Beth, it looks to me like Alexa Gray is not in a great rhythm. You can see her jumping early on her way down. The connection not great with this setter who's been doing such a nice job in only her 3rd start this season.
Franti has it blocked.
Nice up by the middle blocker, Boswell.
Nobles rolls one out of the back. Hancock goes back out to the freshman Franti. Point Nittany Lions. Allie is out of Spring Grove, Illinois, had 16 kills, hit nearly 400 in the semi. Able to knock that one down off the tape and over. BYU sets the middle. Fuller was able to save it. Hampson bumps it back over. Hancock quickly back out to Franti through the block and down.
You got to be impressed with how Penn State's outsides come out so aggressive. It was Megan Courtney 2 nights ago in the semis. This time it's Allie Franti taking big cuts at the ball, going at that right side blocker. Robbins Hardy for BYU.
Out of the back, Hampson able to use that size, Karch, to really rifle that straight down.
Did you see that out of the backcourt, and Hampson hits it down at number 33, Fuller, in the backcourt for Penn State. And now Hampson back up in front. Lost opportunity. Every time you serve out and you have Hampson at the net, it's an opportunity that was lost in terms of a chance for her to block. Second service turn for Hancock. BYU controlled her well the first time.
Didn't score on her first opportunity and just misses long on that one. 125 aces on the year and now 108 service errors for Hancock. So she's still in the positive. Set a new Big Ten record and an NCAA record with those aces this year.
Nice help by Hampson.
Back set, Franti. Nobles was able to slow it down. Here comes Hampson with a big rip. Dug up. Hancock got there. Off the set from the libero. Whitney with the kill.
Hancock showing off her defensive skills again, and that's exactly where Penn State was looking to play Hampson, and then they turn it into a point. Ayanna Whitney, high contact point, finding daylight between the block.
Here comes Hampson again. Tried to go down the line. Didn't get it. Point Penn State. Hampson 3 kills. Whitney with 3 kills to lead their teams early here in the first. Another one that touches the tape. The back set again to Hampson. Good diving get by Gonzalez. Whitney popped up by Parker. Nobles had to bump it over, and Courtney on the deck to keep it alive.
Good play by Hancock to get it to the other setter.
And down, point for Hampson and BYU off the set from Parker, the libero. And she's back to serve.
Coach Rose not happy with the way Penn State handled what should have been an easy play. Scrambling on the floor to keep it alive.
Back outside to Whitney. They were working a lot today in practice, Karch, trying to keep one of the blockers in the middle of the floor so they could attack the pins. And Whitney is having success out there thus far with the early lead, 15-11 in our first set, best 3 of 5 to decide the national championship. The Nittany Lions trying for an NCAA record 7th trophy. National championship match here in Oklahoma City. 15-11, Penn State with the early lead. Let's take a look at tonight's Planning for Success, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Divide the deuce and shades for gray, Karch.
That's right. You can see BYU has 2 passers out there, but that's the same standard that Penn State uses, and BYU has to find that space and especially attack the big space between 2 passers. For Penn State, they're going to have to control Alexa Gray, and they've been planning for it for 2 days. Shading certain parts of the court. She really likes to go cross-court.
Go cross, yep. So far, Gray does not have a kill on 3 swings, and right now is the time of the set where she has rotated out. Robbins Hardy does a nice job of keeping it off the net, and Boswell gets the kill. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Sean Olmstead for BYU was talking to his team in the last huddle, and he really called out everybody else but Jen Hansen. She's done too much for us so far. 4 kills for this team. He said, we've got to get other people involved. Nobles and our middles need to wake up.
Thank you, Holly. Megan Courtney, who was the star swinger in the semifinal win, gets her second kill tonight.
And both Courtney and Franti on the left side for Penn State attacking a ton at that seam between the middle blocker, wing blocker.
Boswell finds the corner. Point BYU.
Clearly the point guard of the BYU offense, Robbins Hardy, is doing exactly what Sean Olmstead, coach, told her to do, and that is get the ball to other players, get 2 kills to Boswell early here.
Boswell sends it back, and there is the first block of the match for a team that had 17 of them in the upset of Texas a couple nights ago.
This is not an easy play to block, but we call that cross 2 footwork. Boswell getting back into play at the last second. And that's another thing we saw Penn State practicing yesterday, is tipping a lot, trying to get Jen Hansen on the ground. Even if she gets it up, she then can't be a part of the offense.
They want to keep her as busy as possible, with the exception of letting her swing at the net, so make her work everywhere else on the floor. As Courtney now rotates out. On to serve is Lainey Pierce. So far, Penn State hitting over 300. BYU just $125. That'll help. Boswell with her 3rd kill. So as Holly reported, Boswell definitely heard what Sean Olmstead was selling in that last timeout. There she is to serve. Hancock.
And that was called a double contact. That's the deuce we were talking about. You have 2 passers out on the floor right now. Number 4, Gonzalez, the libero, and number 17, the outside hitter. Penn State passing mostly with 2. BYU trying to attack it.
Gonzalez wisely lets that one go long. 19-16. Penn State were headed to 25, have to win by 2. Robbins Hardy looking for Alexa Gray. Slowed down by the block. Franti. Good defense in the back by Nobles. Hampson out of the back, couldn't get it down. Franti again. Parker keeps it alive. Back to the freshman. She'll try the tip. That won't go.
But it's pulled Hampson out, and it had to go to Gray, and she gets her first kill of the match. Been a little quiet to this point.
By far her best swing, too, right there, with a little extra on it.
She is tough to handle. This is the shot she likes to hit. You can even see the Penn State block stepping inside, and still it goes under the left hand of Mia Grant.
Hancock, the slide for Grant. Point Penn State.
The left side blocker, number 9 for BYU, just going out a little too far. Most of the time when people attack on that slide offense, they hit cross court, and that's where Penn State's been having success.
Hancock again serving for the 3rd time. They haven't scored on her serve yet, and now they do. See if they can take advantage here, Coach, because Hampson stays in the back. Boswell is out, one of their best blockers, and Sean Olmstead wants the timeout. With Penn State 4 points away from taking the opening set. It's the national championship from Oklahoma City. Hancock with her first point off of her serve just a moment ago, and now out of the timeout, back behind the line. That lefty spinner. Gonzalez will set it for Whitney. Missed it wide, no touch. Point BYU.
I tell you, Beth, if you're a BYU fan, you got to be happy to only be down by 3. The team hitting 129, Hampson hitting 100, Gray with only 1 kill hitting 143. If they can get those 2 going a little more, they could battle this great dynamo that is Penn State, going for their 6th title in the last 8 years.
That time Hancock got it out to Grant quickly before the block got up. Point Penn State. 3rd kill of the match for Grant, the first team All-American this year as a senior. Parker with the pass. Robbins Hardy looking for Hampson. She's stuffed. Sent right back at the 6'7" senior.
And Penn State is setting up really well. They could see that that was a low inside set. So both blockers reaching toward the angle, setting up perfectly on a very predictable offense for BYU. They've got to get more than the single dimension of Jen Hampson, especially when Alexa Gray has checked out of the game.
And how about that number that we just saw coming up off the scoreboard? Penn State out-blocking BYU now 4-1 in this opening set, and a 23-18 lead for the defending champs. What a run it has been for Penn State. And the job that Russ Rose has done, it seems like every year they lose an All-American or 2 or 3, and then they have somebody else step up and fill the role like Anna Whitney's doing.
Yeah, and remember, Whitney played some middle blocker for them when Haley Washington was injured earlier this year. A very versatile player. She can hit on the left, the middle, the right. Hits at a high contact point. She's already got 4 kills for Penn State out of 13 total.
They graduated 6 seniors last year, so this is the first year that Whitney is getting extensive playing time. For Penn State, 6 players with a kill. They've been spreading it around. For BYU, it's been a lot of Hampson and Boswell thus far. BYU sticking around even though they are hitting below 100 so far, but now it's Penn State with an opportunity to close it out. They are 2 points away from the set. Kendall Pierce to serve. In the middle, Nobles. Transition for the Nittany Lions. It's Whitney again. Gonzalez able to track it down. Back outside to Whitney. Cross court. Robbins Hardy down to get it. Indecision by BYU and a chance for Penn State to get it to set point, and the block is there. Hampson and Whitney Young, the top blocker in the nation this year.
And when you're 6'7", you don't need to get off the ground very much. Great help by Hampson, and yet Penn State in very good shape, up by 4 because of the low hitting efficiency on the BYU side of the net.
Parker serves. Hancock to Grant. Couldn't put that away. Boswell was there waiting. And a free ball. The middle, Boswell didn't get much mustard on that swing. Penn State, however, does, and Whitney gets them to set point.
But the thing that really worked for Penn State is they put the ball short. If they had to give an easy one, they put it short to Hampson. That took her completely out of the play.
Robbins Hardy, a long way to go for that. Nobles played it across. Tipped back over by Washington. Boswell with the kill. They fight off the first set point.
And Coach Rose was not happy about the impatient play of Haley Washington. Gave the ball easy back to BYU. Now Penn State on the offense for the game.
To Whitney. Right at the defensive specialist. There's Nobles off the block. Couple in a row for BYU. They fight off a second set point.
If BYU had to have one server to choose to be at the line to try to come back, it would be Hampson at 6'7", serving that very flat, aggressive ball.
Megan Courtney tries to finish it, and does. She gets the touch. And the defending champs take the opening set and are 2 sets away from a 7th national championship, but a long way to go. How will the Cougars respond when we come back? BYU in the blue to serve to open up set number 2. Penn State in white. Beth Mowens, Karch Karai, Holly Rowe at the national championship. Micah Hancock Looking to Grant to start things off. For a report from that Penn State huddle, here's Holly.
Well, Nia Grant was poked and prodded by her coach, who is so good at pushing the buttons of his players. Yesterday at practice, he really worked with her with that quick middle to find those seams. He said it'd sure be nice if we saw some of that Saturday night. But keep in mind, she should have been graduating from Penn State today, missing commencement to play in this game. I think she's pretty happy where she's at.
Yeah, watching practice yesterday, Holly said she had a feeling that Grant might be able to do something special. And for a lot of these student athletes on both sides, missing out on graduation, missing out on the opportunity to finish out classes at home. Some of them for BYU were actually taking finals in the last couple of days. And now here playing tonight for the national championship. Strong serve from BYU and the ace. And a 2-1 lead. That's Tia Welling.
And that's the only way. Good shot from the end zone. You could see those two passers for Penn State. Megan Courtney and Dominique Gonzalez. And tough serving can give them lots of trouble. There's a big space between them to attack. BYU mostly unsuccessful until that last serve.
Hancock to the freshman Franti, right through the block. So far they are finding seams and gaps.
Yep, it's not only behind the setter, but this time in front. Late arriving middle. Hampson taking a little more line, and that's called hitting the daylight. First thing you want to do as a hitter is attack that space. If there's daylight, go after it.
Bobbins Hardy will set the middle, and the solo block for Grant.
Nice read by Nia Grant. She doesn't jump until she knows the set is going to the middle hitter, reaches the correct way, sees exactly where that hitter's swinging.
Back set for Hampson. She'll work that block and get the point for the Cougars. Hampson, a redshirt senior. She played just basketball last year, led BYU to the Sweet 16, was an All-American, and this year turned down the opportunity to play for the LA Sparks in the WNBA. She had a commitment. She wanted to come back and play another year of volleyball, and it's been such a good year, Karch, that now after the season she's got to decide, does she do one or the other, or try somehow to do both?
She was talking about it this week. She honestly hasn't made a decision, wants to finish out this season. She's actually going to come train in the USA gym. We've got a training camp in January, and then figure some things out. The WNBA season starts later, but she's had a spectacular career. First team All-American this year.
One of the best female student athletes in BYU history when you look back at all the things that she's been able to accomplish, trying to cap it with a title. When the tip gets dug up by Franti. Here comes Hampson again. Off the block and out.
And that's not the best matchup for BYU. Megan Courtney is one of probably the best left side blocker for Penn State. That time she didn't get her hands across the net until too late. She was swinging at the ball.
Whitney gets the kill.
It's interesting how different players rise to the occasion different nights. 2 nights ago it was Megan Courtney. This time Ayanna Whitney is teeing off on the ball. That her 6th kill so far early in set number 2.
Hampson has 6 to lead the way for BYU. And the ace for Penn State. This is the top serving team statistically in the country. A lot of that is because of Hancock, but the rest of this team pretty good as well.
Yep, we saw Penn State passing with 2. We also see BYU passing with 2. And Penn State is actually going at the libero, who is supposed to be the best passer, that person with a different colored jersey.
Hancock tracks it down, looking for Courtney, and it's returned. Boswell with the block. That's pretty strong right there at 6'4" and 6'7", side by side.
It sure is. The advantage, all BYU blocked that time. A broken play, easy setup.
Whitney continues to hammer away next to that antenna. They are setting her up wide, and she's delivering.
And that's a basic tenet in your offense for setters to be aware of. If somebody is having lots of success, they've got a good matchup, keep going with it. BYU unable to stop Whitney.
Hampson out of the back and almost had a collision with the libero.
Yep, and pay attention again. This is the rotation where Hampson's in the back. Alexa Gray is not in the front court for BYU. But they got to be happy to get out of that with giving up only 1 point that series. Here's the slide attack by Boswell coming around off 1 foot. Penn State choosing to go one-on-one with that. Boswell winning that matchup.
Megan Courtney coming off that career high 21 kills in the semis. BYU has been keeping an eye on her. She'll get another swing and doesn't get it. Point Cougars. And BYU up 1 here in the second.
Sure like the defense by Sierra Parker for BYU, lining up nicely on that first swing of Courtney, forcing her into a tougher second swing that went out.
Washington slides behind and BYU defends it. Hampson lets it rip and got it down inside the block. Point Cougars.
Without Gray having much of a transition there, BYU will set back court to Hampson a lot to get them out of trouble. And nice read by Boswell all over that. Remember, when Micah Hancock's in the front court as a setter, she can choose to attack the second ball. Boswell all over this. Quick left hand. And the beauty of that is if you read it, nobody's there to help the setter out. Nobody's there to cover that ball. Great block.
Courtney redirected by the setter, Robbins Hardy. They're trying to go over the top of the shorter blocker, and they get the point. Pierce comes on to serve for Courtney. See if they continue to go after the libero Parker, and they do. And it works for them. They don't get the ball into the hands of the setter, BYU, but then Penn State cannot take advantage.
You are right. The server did her job, caused a poor pass. Everybody on Penn State knew it was going out to Alexa Gray, but they couldn't control the defensive effort. That's the first thing you have to do, though, is hit that tough serve, break the other team's offense down.
Popped up by Boswell.
Oh, careful.
Hampson almost came right over the top of her setter and gets the kill as she finds the corner.
Wow, I thought somebody was going to get hurt. I can't believe they didn't communicate well enough for Robbins Hardy to get out of the way, but it confused Penn State, led to the kill.
Robbins Hardy has only been the starting setter for the last few matches. Gets out of the way in time. Jennifer Hampson starting to dominate here in the second set. 25-21 Penn State in the first, but it's BYU here in the second, so far behind the stellar play of Jennifer Hampson.
Yep, she's already taken 20 swings. She already has 4 kills in this set, this second set alone. But Penn State having trouble as this has gone on, including that last kill that we saw where she almost took out her setter, who's only in her 3rd start of the season. What a bold move by Coach Sean Olmstead, recently named National Coach of the Year.
In just his 4th season, he is a 2-time national champion with the BYU men's volleyball team in 2003 and 2004. A very well-known family of volleyball players and officials. Dad is a world-renowned official, and Sean has 6 volleyball playing sisters, and one of them is his assistant coach, Heather.
And he said, was the biggest hire that he had to make, and they had to make an exception. They have a nepotism policy at BYU, but he said, look, I just can't do it without her. In fact, the other day, he had really kind words when he got that award. He said, she's twice the coach I am, and a better assistant coach than I could ever be.
Well, one of the reasons they been so successful. You got to credit their AD, Tom Holmoe, who has been involved with all of the athletics at BYU and knows a lot of these players by name, and in fact was instrumental in getting Tamber Nobles into school after she had transferred from Northern Colorado. Real family affair in both of these athletic departments. Sandy Barber, the AD for Penn State, also here tonight. Alexa Gray dug up. Terrific by Gonzalez.
That might have been going out of bounds.
Yeah.
Let's see as it comes back over the net. Watch her. Yeah, I think that was going to go out of bounds. But if Hampson didn't know, that's the right call. When you don't know, you got to try and make the play. Don't let it drop.
We'll take a break here in the second set. Timeout BYU. They're up 2, but down a set. Penn State and Gonzalez serving. Off the tape, popped up. Good pancake by Robbins Hardy. Hancock the back set to Grant. Gray gets denied again.
Yeah, what an up by Franti.
Back to Gray, and this time she finds the floor. Her 4th kill of the match. Let's check in with Holly.
Sean Olmstead of BYU was a little frustrated with his team in that last huddle. He said, we've got to keep the ball on them. We keep bailing them out. They are too good to just hand them points. They don't need our help. We got to stay composed and be smarter.
Block able to slow it down. Back to Nia Grant. She'll try again and is successful the second time. Her 5th kill.
Penn State continuing to attack that left side block of BYU. Micah Hancock jumping, trying to attract attention herself. Of course, she's at the service line now and continuing to set overhead, and they're having a lot of success.
1 point on her 5 serves thus far in the match. For the top server in the country, Franti. Popped up. Gray tips it deep, and they continue to do a nice job containing the Hancock serve.
And Coach Rose is not happy with Megan Courtney. Thought she should have been able to see this play. Watch the early hand come up right there. That is an indication that it's tip, either short or deep. Middle back has to be the second line of defense for the deep one.
Grant again. That has been unstoppable for Penn State thus far.
Well, if I were BYU, I'd move that block in a little. Penn State on that slide, hitting cross court every time inside the block. Unstoppable so far. Tons of success. You got to admire Penn State finding something and sticking with it. Something that works.
The tip by Whitney Young. The sophomore out of Roberts, Idaho, had 7 block assists in the semis. A player that arrived as an outside hitter. They moved her into the middle.
Ooh, that's an easy serve. BYU got to serve tougher than that.
And as a result, Penn State gets the point.
When you see a serve with backspin on it, that's the easiest kind for the receiver to control. What you're trying to do is hit a serve that's flat and it has no spin. Let's see if this one comes off clean, no spin. Better. It'll have enough knuckleball effect then.
Franti with the pass. Courtney bumps it all the way across, and the block is there this time for BYU.
But you called it Courtney with a great set, way across the net, 30 feet in the air. This is a skill underappreciated in volleyball, but you have to get your teammate a good swing. A rare time where Whitney dragged the ball into the block.
Hancock goes to Courtney. Got that one over the top. Point Penn State. Lacey Fuller on to serve.
And this is that rotation we're keeping an eye on for BYU. No Alexa Gray on. Jen Hampson in the backcourt. See how quickly they can get out of it without giving up points. Nope. Megan Courtney doing a great job of left side blocker help for Penn State, along with Haley Washington. See 2 blockers up. That's
Look at the motion from the freshman.
Absolutely. She takes it upon herself to celebrate the successes of her teammates.
Gonzalez couldn't come up with that pass.
So BYU only giving up 1 point.
Yep.
The other day we saw him give up a streak of 4, a streak of 5.
And now Gray comes back into the lineup. Hancock had to go a long way to get it. Now a chance for BYU. Robbins-Hardy looks to Hampson, had to attack out of the back.
Nice.
Fuller dives to play it across. Gray with the swing and the kill.
And Salima Rockwell is not happy on the sideline for Penn State. Probably right. Early in the play, a contact by the setter, Robbins-Hardy, that could have been called a double. Watch the dump.
Hampson was there. She can block from the back row with that size. And a kill for Penn State.
Well, we heard the report from Holly when Sean Olmstead was talking to them in the huddle. You can't give Penn State easy plays. So they come up with the dig, BYU does, but then they made nothing of it. And you give Penn State a second chance, not going to happen.
Pierce serving. Robbins-Hardy to Gray, could not get full extension in her arm. Washington against a solo, and that's a mismatch for the freshman who was injured early in the season. Came back to full speed in the Illinois match, the last time they lost, and since she's been at 100%, they've rattled off this 19-match win streak. She's a critical element of their success. Hancock looks to her again. BYU sets Boswell in the middle. And the quick for a point.
I sure like the work Haley Washington's doing, but this time it's Boswell coming down from the block and becoming an attacker. We call that transition in volleyball, and it happens all the time. You have to go from offense to defense, defense to offense very quickly.
Washington gets it stuffed. Hancock on 2. That one won't go. And long from Gray. Penn State within 1.
The right idea by Gray, though. She knew the whole defense at Penn State was shallow. She was aiming for that deep corner.
Gonzalez. They continue to serve Parker. Another quick in the middle. Dug up by Gonzalez. Franti with a chance. Pushes it deep. Good D for BYU. Gray with a swing. Slide Grant. And even though they are getting out hit here by about 50 points in the set, they are even at 20.
This time it's Nia Grant's turn to come down and hustle from block to offense. Unstoppable behind the setter for Penn State.
Well, how do you deal with the serve of Micah Hancock? BYU's been good at it so far. How'd they get so good? Here's Holly.
Well, Micah Hancock is one of the best in the country with that very interesting jump serve and the funky spin with the left-hander. Well, their coach, Heather Olmstead, is also left-handed for BYU. So she got up on a table. Here she is at practice trying to replicate that serve of Hancock. The spin is there, the height is there, and so far BYU has done a pretty good job handling that Hancock serve thanks to some creative coaching.
And thanks to Holly's iPad for shooting that footage for us.
The high def, I think. Notice how that table with the folding legs, you have to have somebody on each end of it just to make sure the whole thing doesn't collapse. You'd hate to have that.
Love the creativity of both these coaching staffs and their game planning to get ready. You want to try, as the head coach of the U.S. national team, Karch, and winners of the World Championships for the first time, try and take away the other team's biggest advantage and don't let that best player or that best aspect of the game be the one that beats you.
Yep, and we heard that good report about BYU, and really Penn State, that's one of their true strengths, is how well that they can game plan, take away the opponent's strengths, and they're only 1 point on her 6 serves, on her probably 4 service turns so far, but taking away strengths and being able to adjust as the match wears on.
4 times in the first set, a couple of times here in the second for Hancock. This is Gonzalez, and a chance for Penn State to take the lead. And Gray says not just yet. Well, the NCAA championship coverage continues with the FCS championship football game for you. Saturday, January 10th at 1 Eastern on ESPN2. For more info on the NCAA FCS championship, visit ncaa.com. Your home for all 89 NCAA championships. And BYU gives it right back with a service error. And now the race is on to 25. Got to win by 2. And here is Hancock with an opportunity. And the error from Micah.
One of the things that's helped BYU this set, Alexa Gray has come alive. 5 kills in this one, although only 1 in the first, but she checks out at this critical time in the game. She's going to have to wait until her location, her position in the rotation gets back to left front.
Hancock looks for the freshman Franti off the block of Hampson. Well played. The mid-air adjustment ties it up.
Yeah, and if I were BYU, I wouldn't even have jumped to block on this because Franti, watch, she's late. She doesn't even go up to swing. BYU giving up an easy play. Never should have been like that. Hampson should have stayed on the ground.
Backs at Hampson. Wide point Penn State. Kendall Pierce trying to serve the Nittany Lions to set point. Robbins Hardy, the quick in the middle, slowed down by Grant. Whitney. Back to Young, and good defense by the Nittany Lions. Courtney.
Also a
good
nice
dig by Parker. And the kill. Timber Nobles.
Boy, you said it, that Penn State had a great swing to get to set point, but Parker comes up with a nice defense in the backcourt for BYU.
And now she'll serve to try and get to set point. Hancock to Whitney. And it falls wide, and now it's the Nittany Lions with a chance to serve for the set and a 2-0 lead.
You got to think Jen Hampson here.
Robbins Hardy instead goes to Boswell, and she gets it.
And what a save by Robbins Hardy. This ball is too close to even get 2 hands on it. She puts it up in the air, and Boswell finishes. Now the best server for BYU at the line.
Hampson with the service error, and it's another set point for Penn State.
So you go from the best server to the toughest rotation on offense, receiving serve. No Alexa Gray in the front, Hampson in the backcourt. Penn State in a great position here to finish this out.
That could be a very costly miss. Here's Lacey Fuller. Robbins Hardy to Boswell, tried the tip. Washington smacked it back. Hampson didn't have the best of angles on it. They may get her another chance. No, they'll go the other way. Nobles blocked, and Penn State takes the set. And the defending champs have a 2-0 lead. The freshman setter goes to Nobles instead of another opportunity for Hampson at set point.
So well played by Penn State. They forced Hampson to the ground. That's the only place she really could go. Had to go to Nobles. Penn State played it exactly the way they wanted to.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Jen, your team has been a little bit rattled at times there. How do you feel like you can kind of get your composure back here for set 3?
It's not like we haven't been down before, and so we've been in this type of situation before, so we're just going to relax and play our game.
Your teammates need to get a little bit more involved? You've got 9 kills, but how do you continue to encourage them and help them?
I honestly do my best, and our teammates know that they contribute and they're going to step up. It's going to be great.
There's more fight in these Cougars?
Oh, for sure.
Thanks.
And all systems are go right now for the 6-time national champs with a 2-0 lead. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach Rose, your team showed some resilience there in set 2. They were down but fought their way back. What was the biggest change you felt like they made to get back in it?
Well, I mean, we just made some plays. I mean, they're a terrific serving team, and you know, they can get you out of sorts pretty quick. So, you know, I mean, I thought we would battle back. We just needed some ball control and need a couple kids to keep some pressure on them serving as well. You know, we're a little ahead of them in blocking right now. I'm not sure that's what everybody thought would happen, but you know, we know we're in for a tough match, so we're going to have to come out and be ready to go right out of the gate here.
Well, Jennifer Hampson has been pretty good against you. Everybody else hasn't really woken up yet for BYU, but what can you do better against Hampson?
Well, I don't know what you do. She's, you know, you don't have anybody in your gym that you can use to replicate her, especially at a tournament like this. But you know, the one that's really causing us problems right now is the middle hitter. So you know, we have to get a little better matchup with her. Hopefully, Haley will step in a little bit more.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, here's how things have played out thus far, with Penn State winning both of the first 2 sets. Whitney with 9 kills on 20 swings to lead the way. BYU has been spreading it around a bit. Hampson was the leader thus far. And let's talk about, Coach, how Penn State has been able to keep her busy at times and really take her out on that last set.
Yeah, watch this. It's really a chess match. If you want to reduce the BYU offense to something very predictable and you don't have a swing, get the ball to Hampson. Now she's out of the play and the ball has to go over to the left side, and they set up a perfect block. There's only one option. Watch it in live time. There's only one option for BYU, and that is off to our right, their left side. Easy block for Haley Washington. Point Penn State, and 1 set away now from a 6th title in 8 years.
Can BYU prevent it? It has happened before in NCAA tournament history, down 0-2, and you've rallied to win. It's happened 3 times, most recently in 2009 when Penn State rallied from down 0-2 to Texas to come back and win the title. BYU here for the first time in the championship game, trying to become the first unseeded team to win a national championship, and they would need to make some history to do it.
And they were in a good position. They were up 12-8, forcing Coach Rose to use that time, burn that first time out much earlier than he would like.
Penn State gets a point on the Hancock serve. That's just the 2nd she's gotten for them thus far. BYU's been pretty good against her. Hancock goes to Franti. Net violation on BYU. Down 0-2 and coming back to win it all. Hawaii in 1982, UCLA in 1991, and Penn State in 2009.
That was the one where they went in at the intermission, and Coach Rose pretty much peeled the paint off the walls and let them have it. And they came back to beat Texas 15-13 in the 5th game.
That was the 2nd in the Penn State 4-peat. From 2007 to 2010, 4 straight titles. Came back and won another one last year. And the point for Grant. (41-2) in the NCAA tournament over the last 8 years for the Nittany Lions. Hancock with the back set to Whitney, dug up by Welling. Nobles gets a swing and gets the kill.
Sometimes, Beth, as the matches wear on, you'll see coaches decide to put a new server at the service line. They can put any one of their 6 players on the floor ready to serve, but neither coach changing anything. So we expect the same matchup. Hancock was the first server for Penn State. Same starting rotation for BYU. And I think that was because Coach Olmsted said, thought to himself, look, we were so close. We were at 23 all, 24 all right there.
Lost the first set by 4, the second set by 2. A disconnect there for BYU. It's a point, Penn State.
And we heard with the interview with Holly, Coach Rose talking about how we have to contain number 10, the middle hitter. You could see how interested the Penn State blockers were. 2 people up on that play.
Hampson gets a swing and the kill. Let's check in with Holly.
BYU has some fantastic fans at home in Provo, Utah. They have jammed into the court where BYU usually plays at the Smith Fieldhouse. They're watching it up on the big screen. They are great fans. They usually pack that place for home matches. Elaine Michaelis, who built that program, is proud as that is the court named after her.
And thanks to BYU TV for hooking us up with that footage. Elaine Michaelis was the coach when the Cougars were here in the national semifinals in 1993, and now back 21 years later and going one step farther, playing in their first championship.
And she was around at summer camp when Alexa Gray was there, and she said, you got to land her. And Coach Sean Olmsted did. She was the first commit in his tenure as coach in his 4th season here with BYU.
And this year, the West Coast Conference Player of the Year. She has rotated out. Hancock and Washington were there with a block. The defense for Penn State keeps it up. Robbins Hardy going to Boswell, and Courtney solo right on the net.
Courtney, again, is Penn State's best left side blocker. Penn State chooses to just leave her one-on-one, and boy, does she take care of business.
Olmsted doesn't want the train to get rolling too far down the tracks here in the 3rd. He'll call a timeout with Penn State up a couple sets and up 3 points. Oklahoma City and Chesapeake Energy Arena. Beth Bowens, Karch Karai, Holly Rowe in the national championship match. And out of the timeout, the kill for Jennifer Hampson, her 11th.
That's that rotation that can be so costly for BYU if they don't execute well. That time, perfect execution. And now Alexa Gray checked back in. She's the one who came alive for them. But they didn't have her on the floor at the end of that second set when they needed her most to finish it out.
Megan Courtney gets the kill, point Penn State.
And boy, was Courtney good in the semifinals 2 nights ago against Stanford. Unstoppable. Career high 23 kills.
Also had 16 digs on the night. One thing she has talked about is the experience of these Penn State players to just go out and play it like it's any other game. That's part of the culture that has been passed down from the championship teams year to year in Happy Valley. Point Nittany Lions.
One of the few times that Gray has been stopped all tournament long, and really it was the net that stopped her on that one, trying to hit down and too sharp.
They'll get it to her again and uses Hancock for the point.
And I think that's a pretty good choice by Robbins Hardy to get it back to her big gun on the left side. Make sure Gray keeps going. They're going to need her to be big. And at this point, if you're BYU, you got to be thinking we just need to get one set and give ourselves the ability to believe that we can beat this team as good as Penn State is. Very tentative swing by Gray there.
Point Penn State. Sometimes when you play the Nittany Lions, there's some intimidation just in the jersey alone. You certainly didn't get that sense from BYU as they were preparing for this national championship match. They have knocked off 4 seeded teams in a row, trying for a 5th and their first national title. Pushed wide by Gray.
And they better be careful, BYU. That was not a well-executed play. Having trouble looking each other in the eye. This is the time you have to come together when you're down by 5 and down 2-0 in sets to keep the season alive.
Back to Gray. Block is able to slow it down again. Hancock Shoots it all the way across to the freshman Franti, and she's denied. Stuffed by Young.
A rare stuff on BYU's right side, and it's because they finally closed that seam between the two blockers.
Chance for the Cougars. Hampson. Courtney was there. Now she'll swing out of the back. The rocket from Courtney. Point Penn State.
Wow, has she been good in this tournament. I like the outlet here of setting just behind the setter. She had gone beyond the midpoint of the court, and there was a lot of space to hit at for Megan Courtney.
Whitney Lyons, now you can sense the momentum on that side of the net. From the players and from the fans, they're used to these situations. They've seen it enough. The ace for Hancock.
Her first ace. This is that motion that she has, that left-handed curveball that goes right into the corner pocket.
BYU has to use its second and final timeout. Things are starting to get away from them as Penn State is trying to lock down another national championship. Penn State up a couple of sets. They lead here in the third, trying to close out the match. Well, for more great social photos live from the NCAA tournament, go to ESPNW.com/volleyball snapshots. And some looks behind the scenes here in Oklahoma City. Penn State and BYU, that was the stash selfie. Coach Olmstead's been taking one of those after every win in this NCAA tournament. That was after the semis a couple of nights ago. They need a major turnaround if he's going to have a photo op later tonight, because right now the Nittany Lions are looking dominant.
Hancock with good rhythm those last two serves, an ace and then a near ace, creating an easy blocking opportunity for Penn State.
Just like we saw last year in the finals, she's getting better behind the line the deeper we get into the match. 4 points already on her two serves this set. And the roll, get it, another one.
And what's interesting, this is Gray's responsibility, but she's late arriving. And then when she gets up, watch, she doesn't go into the huddle. This is the time BYU, as a young and less experienced team, nobody's been here before, they really have to band together. They need each other more than ever now.
Back set, they go to Whitney again. Robbins Hardy was there. They have to use the libero to set. They don't get a good swing on it. And it's Franti pushing it deep. And Hampson sends it long. 16-7 Nittany Lions. BYU doesn't have a timeout to slow it down.
They have used up their timeouts. They've had a couple of touches that were not what they wanted by any means. Hampson with that last one got to at least give your team a chance. And there's another chance off the tough serve of Hancock.
And the block will end it momentarily here for BYU.
Alexa Gray setting up and taking line. Franti's been having success at that, but she hasn't been hitting against Gray over there.
Gray now rotates out. See if that might be a play, though, that will get her going. And the double contact whistled on Robbins Hardy.
And that's a good call.
Opportunities are running shorter for BYU. Down 17-8 in the third. If Penn State wins the set, they win the match. They win a record 7th national championship. It would be their 6th in 8 years. Point Penn State. And now the only way to slow things down a bit is to get some substitutions into the game. Russ Rose and Penn State, the first 3 times they came to the finals, they lost. And now the last 6 times, they've gone home victorious, trying to make it 7 straight. Whitney, stuffed but kept alive, and the kill for Grant. Off the ricochet, and all the bounces going Penn State's way.
A really good blocking move by BYU, but a scramble play. Nobody can plan for this. A stab at the ball by Whitney, and it goes into the perfect place to score.
Hampson uses the block. Gets the kill for BYU. 12 now for Jennifer.
As you said, out of timeouts, the only thing BYU could do to slow things down, even for just a couple of seconds, is to substitute out Jen Hampson just for a play.
Hancock with the one-handed back set. BYU able to bounce it up. Whitney again through the block. 11 kills now for Ayanna.
Clearly, Penn State having the belief that they have a great advantage behind the setter, hitting on that right side. No success for BYU on defense there.
Hampson got it down. Hancock, Courtney swooping in for the kill. Oh, no, check that net violation on Penn State. Point for BYU.
It would have been a kill, but the ball stayed in the air so long because she hit it so hard that she then landed, and her momentum took her into the net.
Here's Hampson back to serve. Redirected by Nobles. Courtney off the block. Coming on strong. Her 9th kill of the match. 4 points away from a record 7th national championship for the Nittany Lions in Russ Rose's 10th trip to the final. Back to Courtney. Last year, when they won it all, they won the final 25 matches they played. This year, hot again when it matters the most. If they close it out, it would be 20 wins in a row en route to a championship. Courtney. Misfired. Point Cougars.
And there were a lot of people thinking number 5 seed might be a little low for the NCAA tournament with a tradition like Penn State's.
Courtney relentless here in the 3rd. And it's appearing like the remarkable run for the unseeded Cougars may be coming to an end. Hampson out of the back. Point BYU. Serve receive now for the Nittany Lions and a chance to get it to match point. Washington stood up. Franti missed it. 2 freshmen for Penn State had a chance. Outside to Franti. Hampson well off the net. Match point, Nittany Lions on the brink of a 6th title in 8 years. Off the tape and the ace to end it. And the dynasty continues in Happy Valley with a record 7th NCAA crown. A dominating performance in the final for Russ Rose's Nittany Lions. They close it out 25-14 in the 3rd set. Another trophy headed home to Penn State championship point, and it's an ace for the Nittany Lions as they defeat the Cougars of BYU and get a 3-0 sweep.